I heard this teaching today and I have to share it with you. It totally shifted the way I think about nervous system regulation. There are so many modalities out there to help down regulate your nervous system once something has triggered you. However, wouldn't it be better if those triggers didn't even exist in the first place? For example, if you imagine your life as a boat and you want to stay afloat and there are holes in the boat, all of these techniques like somatic shaking and breathing techniques are all amazing for scooping water out of the boat. So you can, I'm a little bit out of breath. Sorry. The idea hit me to share this and I ran and got my phone and some water and now I'm out of breath. So all of these techniques are scooping water out of the boat. But what if you just sealed the leaks in the first place? And how do you do that? So if you think about when you are in that state of fight or flight, survival mode, or fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and eat, it's a state of fear, which serves us. We need that. That is part of our necessary survival instinct that will keep us alive in a moment of real danger. But we don't want to be thrown into that mode when our boss asks us for, I don't know, a moved up deadline or something like that on a project. So first of all, think about the opposite of fear is trust. We're going to come back to that. But I was running around my house today. My kids are home for winter break. Thank God. I'm so grateful. But I also have a lot on my plate and I'm trying to balance motherhood and work like we all are. And I felt myself getting thrown into a dysregulated state. So I went into my room. I closed the door. I just took a moment to sit down. A friend of a friend whose son really is in need of prayers and healing meditations. And I took out I cannot talk today. I took out my Zohar to do a healing meditation. And in that moment of stillness, I remembered a thought I had, I don't know, like in the shower this morning, which was, if we are super dysregulated, right? Like if we are in a constant panic state and the events of our life are just crazy, like more so than feels like anybody else we know. Think about this. Let's say, theoretically, that you or a person, could be you, could be a person that isn't you, that they were destined to give birth to Mashiach, right? The anointed one, somebody who will save the planet from the dark forces of evil, all right? And the dark forces knew that this person couldn't get pregnant as long as they were constantly in a state of fear and anxiety. Like anybody who's ever been through fertility treatments knows that the most annoying advice that you ever get is, oh, just relax and you'll get pregnant. Chill out, forget about it, think of something else, focus on your joy. And you're like, well, I can't relax until I get pregnant. But apparently, according to you, I can't get pregnant until I relax. So it's a catch-22. And this also applies to, so a lot of my audience is women who are going through a custody battle or divorce from a narcissist. And yes, I know that term is overused, but I'm going to make a video soon about why we need to go back to the original myth and who Narcissus and Echo really were, and even Echo's backstory. I'm super excited about that. We're also going to compare that with the story of Queen Esther and the different approaches to narcissism, what was successful, what wasn't. Okay, fine, I digress. But I coach these women that it's not just about regulating your nervous system so you feel better. That's the path to the goal. The reason a lot of dysregulated women lose custody is that when the evaluator or when the guardian ad litem is in their presence, their own nervous system starts to pick up on the nervous energy that the woman in survival mode is giving off, because we all give off an aura that extends 88 inches outside of our body. It's our electromagnetic field, which is generated by our nervous system, right? So if you've ever felt at peace and calm in somebody's aura, they had a healing aura, just being around them, you felt good and safe, right? You knew that they were a healed person. You didn't have to walk on eggshells around them. You felt seen by them. You felt understood by them. That is a healed aura. And the court, the judge, even your own kids, they only really see your aura. Even if they don't see it physically, they sense it. And also, I teach this to women in my self-defense classes. When you're around somebody and your body is tensing up, you don't feel good, listen to that, right? The reverse is also true. If you're always anxious and uptight, you naturally repel people because people naturally move away from that which is uncomfortable. That is just a basic psychological principle. We move away from pain and towards pleasure. So if your energy is painful, and this is why a lot of women going through these battles end up losing friends because, all they do is start trauma dumping on them. And at a certain point, it's like too much. Like, I don't have the bandwidth to hold this. Anyways, but I digress. Okay, so the opponent knows, and their job, let's say, is not to win, but to challenge or strengthen the humanity. Anyway, so the opponent knows that if this woman is able to relax, she'll get pregnant with this savior. So their job is to keep her in a total state of panic and fear. All right. Now, I'm not saying that your ex is consciously doing this, but for sure they are doing it subconsciously. But remember, nothing happens below without permission from above. There's another exercise I do in my course where I have people write down, when so-and-so does such and such, it makes me feel X, right? And then we take out the name of so-and-so and we put the creator or universe or source energy or whatever it is. And then we reread the sentence and we realize how silly it looks, because everything that happens is from God. It's all the creator. From the creator's perspective, you are an only child, right? In fact, it's just you and the creator. Other people aren't even real. So whatever it is, the 11 p.m. email, the surprise motion in court, your child suddenly saying something that is clearly been poached by your ex, and you have that feeling of being flooded, that's a test. And it's designed not to keep you off balance, but so you can recognize it and then learn to remove that trigger, so to speak. So the fact that it's so difficult for you and that you have so much chaos actually means that you are supposed to do something so amazing, and that reward, the light at the end of the tunnel, is so tremendous that there's a lot of interference from the other side. Because if it wasn't so powerful and big and amazing and bright and beautiful, whatever it is, then the other side wouldn't be interested in it. There wouldn't be any food for him. Oh, does this make sense? Like what's the word? Only trouble you can get for free. So if something is challenging, then it means that it's going to be really, really good once you overcome it. People who have come out of drug or alcohol addiction, that's a big one, right? Like, you have to go through this horrible physical detox, and not to mention the thinking pattern, right? That you need this physical substance in order to feel okay. But once they come through it, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I had that, because having healed it, I'm like under this pink cloud, I'm totally in the flow, and everything I touch turns to gold. And I mean, that doesn't last forever. Obviously, we have to keep growing. We can't just stay stagnant. The point is, it's like why is there so much darkness in churches and even 12-step programs? Like, anything where there's so much light, the other side, the opponent, the Satan, is there to get his meal. So if you're going through all this, it means that there's something really important you're supposed to do. So the other side, the dark forces, are really honing in on you. If you have seen Stranger Things and you look at Elle, the forces are very interested in her because she's amazing. Wherever there's a lot of light, there's going to be a lot of attraction, I guess. And as I tip of my tongue, hang on, I will get there. Trust. I wanted to come back to trust. If we are in this state of fear, it's because we don't trust that we're going to be okay, that everything is going to be okay. So really, the answer to everything is trust. Trust in what? Trust that you're going to get your way? No, that might be part of it. And it should be part of it. But actually, the outcome should be far better. It should exceed your wildest dreams. If your way is $20, the outcome should be $2 million. It should be infinite. So it's not just trust that we'll get what we want, but that is part of it. It's trust that we are going to be okay, that we're going to be safe, that lack is an illusion. It's just a covering up of the light, but it's not real. And even if, God forbid, we died, we would even see that death is an illusion, that it's just walking through a door. And that's really the answer. The answer is trust. Trust is the vessel, the cleave, the cup, the container that holds the blessing. And so when we feel overtaken, to just pause and inject that feeling of trust, that we are being looked after, that there is a universal force of goodness, whatever name you want to put on it, the creator, Hashem, the light, source energy, infinite intelligence. And I used to joke in the beginning when I first got divorced, so we're going back almost 12 years now, that thank God I was so dumb and naive and innocent, because everything kept working out for me. And even when it was really bad, I mean, there was a point where, I can't even believe I'm going to share this, but I'm just going to share it, where I lost custody, and I completely, 100%, and I didn't even freak out. And then 2 weeks later, it was overturned. And I don't know why I didn't freak out. Like, thank God I didn't freak out. If I would have freaked out, I might have made it real, but I was just like, oh, this is just a blip. And it was, and that was over. Yeah, I didn't even think twice about it. But I kept landing on my feet. And if I would have talked to too many people, like, I wasn't on Facebook back then, so I wasn't in these groups. I had nobody to talk to. And that's a good thing because I think I would have freaked out. I don't know. I think I would have spiraled. Um, anyways, I would joke that there was a angel for single moms, and like even I found the best place to live, and I don't know, it was just like one thing after another, and it was like next to this gym that basically became my spiritual community for the next 10 years. And I don't know. I think it was just because I was so simple and trusting, and I don't even know where that came from. And thank God I had it. And anyways, there's so much more I could share, but I don't really want to do that right now. So that's my point. Is yes, your nervous system regulation is actually the best tool, the portal to look like the safe parent, because you are the safe parent, because kids feel safe around a regulated parent. And I think that that's more beneficial for kids than anything, is that you don't even have to say anything, right? They just feel your energy. You don't have to compensate with words or actions or kill yourself or bend over backwards or work yourself to the bone making cupcakes from scratch and everything else. You just have to be regulated, and they will feel safe in your presence. And it's the easiest thing and it's the hardest thing, because we've been conditioned to believe you have to work really hard and you have to use your words to explain, and more words and more words and more words. But that's the answer. And how do we get there is trusting that we are going to be looked after. And I'm able to say this today because, without getting too personal, I've had a challenging situation in my own life that, even though it's been going on for a while and it keeps working out and being okay, I'm kind of like, every time it ebbs and flows, I'm like, this time, is it still going to work out this time? And it always does. But something happened that helped me shift into realizing, yes, it is going to be okay. No matter what happens, it's going to be okay. And I am being looked after. And I just realized that's just it's so simple. It's like right in front of your nose, but it's so close you can't see it. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you. I really did not mean to talk for 17 minutes, but if you made it all the way through, I hope this was beneficial. Listen to it again, or just remember, trust, trust, trust. That's the antidote. And the fact that you have so much panic and overwhelm is a good sign. That chaos is the raw material for whatever the amazing outcome is going to be. And if it wasn't going to be so amazing, you wouldn't have all the chaos or light in the way. That's it. If you enjoyed this, please hit that subscribe button. That really helps out the channel. I am trying to grow and reach more women who are getting superficial fixes like scripts and documentation advice, which can be super overwhelming when you're already in a state of trauma and ADHD overwhelm and everything else. The answer is so much more simple than we think. We don't need another shiny healing modality. We just need to trust. That's it. Just trust. It's so simple. Just trust. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.